I don't know about you guys. I hope you share the sentiment, but I'm having more fun here in the Nut and Fancy Project Knife Show than ever before. Ever before. Maybe you sense it in the reviews. I mean, dudes, the knives coming up for review, to me, a jaded, sometimes burnt out reviewer, are exciting. They're exciting. I love them. I'm excited to bring them to you as options for you. They're not going to kill your wallet, kill your credit card. These are two more of those options. You've seen the title. We'll get to the specifics. I am stoked. You'll sense that in the reviews. And you guys see right through me. You know when I'm not stoked about something. I don't hold back. It's honest. This is not TPA. I don't get the knives from the manufacturer. I just cut all ties with the manufacturers, pretty much. Not that I don't like them. I do. But I just do my thing. Year after year, decade after decade, and it works. You know, and I mentioned specifics, but you don't click on the video for just specifics. Anybody could do that. Macy the Mountain Dog could give a KRV if she's just laying out the specifics. Weight, size, materials. Boring. Boring. No, you tune into all my shows. Watch show, knife show, gun show, adventure show, for philosophy. Here comes some more. Okay, here we go. This is what I'm getting at. This is how I see the tactical sport knife world right now. I'm worried about some of the manufacturers. I really am. Not to say they're not producing good knives, but they need to answer what is happening in the Chinese knife world. So here's the Honey Badger. Doesn't cost hardly anything. Amazing knife. An original design. It's not an homage. It's not copying another knife. Here comes a Gonzo, and these are just on the table. I didn't set this up. I probably should have, but I didn't. Here comes a Gonzo Firebird. It's actually a Firebird made by the Gonzo Knife Company, FH41. Fantastic blade. Oh my gosh. It, too, is extremely affordable. Here comes I gotta say this slowly because it's easy to get it wrong, Steel Will. I usually say Steel Wheel. This is the Shaola. Look at this. Another. This is what I'm talking about. So the Chinese knife world is dangerous to American manufacturers. Dangerous because it's pulling sales. And you have to answer it just like you do in any sort of business by facing it head on. So you provide your customers high value, intriguing designs, exciting designs, and something that is innovative. I'm not worried about cold steel. Yeah, there's your intro. There's your philosophy. I ain't. And you know what? Through the years, this is what, year 13 of TNP? I ain't never been worried about cold steel. Not never. Have they made a few missteps? Sure. Every football team does. Every company does. They always have ups and downs. Some designs that fall flat, that don't connect with their customers. I hear you. I've reviewed a couple turkeys from Cold Steel. But you know what? They keep innovating. They keep driving the ball downfield. Another football analogy. Drive the ball down the field. Cold Steel has many high-value knives. And they've always had high-value knives. And they are bold. Did you get that last part? Here's that philosophy. They're bold. They don't really care what other manufacturers are doing. They just march to the beat of their drums. Case in point, the Luzon. Here comes the 6-inch. Look at this big old knife. By the way, I'm left-handed because my shoulder is healing up. I'm post-surgery, and I am in pain right now, believe it or not. I ain't making that up. Look at that, dudes. This is what I'm talking about. For the low price you're going to pay for this, it's a no-brainer. Go right now. Use my links below. It'll probably send you to Blade HQ. Just buy it. If you like large knives like this. Oh, and we're going to talk about that too, as I've done before, but it's fun. We're going to talk about it. So that's a 6-inch Luzon. Here comes the 4-inch. Look at this bad boy. I got to be careful I don't destroy my fairy swordfish biplane over here when I deploy, and that's a left-handed deployment. Did pretty good on that. Boom! Look at that. Oh my gosh. Kudos to Cold Steel. huge kudos to Cold Steel. I'm so impressed with this company year after year that they face off with the Chinese competition by just doing their own designs, sticking to their plan, not being afraid of making these large Marshall blades. Unlike a lot of manufacturers, they steer away from it because it's not politically correct, you know. We can't do that. Now, hell no, says Nutnfancy. We have a need for large tactical blades. We have a need for medium-sized tactical blades. And Cold Steel has always answered the call. Intro complete, ladies and gentlemen, of the Knife Show. Woo! Nutnfancy, you're on one tonight. I know, but I feel strongly about it. You may sense that. Other manufacturers, I don't know. I got some reservations. I don't know if they're going to hold up to the onslaught of what's coming out of China. You know, I can mention names. I won't. Kershaw. You know, I shouldn't. But I just don't know. So, and I've always said that, you know, this is an offshore produced knife. Where's this made? The freaking Luzon. Here's the 6-inch box right here. China? Probably China or Taiwan. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, they're made in the same factories as these other ones, probably. So Cold Steel is the middleman, right? Right. But who cares, dude? Who cares? Because the price is right. So you guys, myself included, I'm a customer too. As long as it's priced reasonably, even a couple bucks, we don't mind that you're the middleman, but don't charge me like $200 for a knife made in China if you're the middleman. And that has happened before. It has happened before with knives made in Taiwan. I've reviewed some from major manufacturers. Made in Taiwan, price $225. I've always criticized that, and rightfully so. Not these knives. These are high value, and don't think they're crap. Because they're not. They're awesome blades. The Cold Steel Luzon, fantastic blades. Really, really fantastic. On we go to philosophy of use. Preach it, Nutton. Preach it. I am. All right. I did say we still have a need for large blades like this, and I will stick with that. I always have. Now, first, let's be honest. The real reason guys would need a large blade like this isn't for self-defense. It's for collectability. I'm one of those guys, too. I just like large blades. I like hand swords. They make me laugh. They're kind of ridiculous, and I like ridiculous in my blades sometimes. Don't you? Yeah, sure it's ridiculous. So what? 9.4 ounces is not exactly lightweight, 6-inch blade. Dang, it's the size of some fixed blades. And again, I'm post-surgery. Bear with me. Ouch. Dang it. What do I have here? Well, I got a Cold Steel. Oh my gosh, my freaking shoulder. I can't really grab it. Oh, I gotta get this one right here. Ouch. Son of a bee. God, that hurts. Oh, that's not good either. Leaving it in. Okay, I can't get the one I wanted to get. I'm going to show you for the first time. What do you know? One of the Chinese-produced knives that I was referencing earlier. I don't know if you even know about this. This is called a Work Tough Kutmaka 6-inch in D2. Look at this sucker. Beautiful knife. Look at that. Yeah, what was the price on this? And I bought it. I didn't get it from the manufacturer. I paid $115 for this. 4.6 millimeters thick, flat ground. And I don't want to do a review on this. I'm just showing it for size. So this is a 6-inch woodscrafting blade. And the Luzon is bigger still, at least in length. Look at that, dudes. That's what I'm talking about. And I apologize, I can't reach my other ones because you may not know or ever handled this knife. Probably not. So you don't really have some personal experience with it. But it's a big blade. Not a big blade, like a mid-sized blade, rather thick. Look at that orange handle. Oh my gosh, that's good. I'm going to review this separate. I really want to go work it over in the woods, and then I got my shoulder operated on. So we might have to wait a bit for that. Maybe I'll just review it and not work it over. I always reserve that right as well. Back to the big blade thing. They're cool. We like them. They make us laugh. They make us smile. And I've been reviewing big blades from Cold Steel forever. Here comes a TMP shop coated by TD himself, Mr. Tactical Doodle. This is a large G10. Actually, this is an XL Espada. Here it goes up against the 6-inch Luzon. Yeah, and this is a big blade, dudes. So that's burnt bronze and TMP blue with the JB Weld handle modification that I did. I love this knife. The spotters are just wicked. It's the philosophy I'm talking about. Just makes me laugh. It's funny. Do I EDC this? Now this one's coated, I don't. But once in a while I'll EDC a huge blade. I don't need to. I just do it for giggles. Just like you. It's just fun. If you ever someone gear checks and you pull out a blade this size, it's absurd. It's just hilarious. And I just like that. I think you do too. So there's a size reference. Now, and I want to show you a couple more too. You'll get a better picture of how big these knives are. Talking about the big blade thing. There is a need for it in self-defense. Last time I checked, there is evil in the world still. You can't reason with it. It does bad things. It hurts people and more. Go watch my video on this very subject I posted about 10 years ago. All that still plays. So, first cool, I just talked about second cool, the collectability, the coolness of the large blade. Roger that, thumbs up. But now we're talking about first cool. Can it really do what it's designed to do? Is it designed to be cool? Kind of. Cold Steel really designed this to be a fighting blade. If we're going to review this honestly, this larger one, we'll get to this one. This is a fighting blade. That's what it's designed to do. And my answer is a resounding yes. And thank goodness, because there's still evil in the world. We still have police officers fighting evil. We have soldiers fighting evil. We have good, responsible, law-abiding civilians that need such a weapon to defend themselves. There you go. Philosophy of use. Absolutely. Would I EDC this one? Well, I mentioned that I would just for fun, so I guess I'd have to say yes, but practically speaking, heck no. No. But this 4-inch one, and this is 3.6 ounces, this is 9.4 ounces. 6-inch Luzon, 4-inch Luzon. This one is actually a jack of all trades, y'all. So it can be a tactical blade, I think. The traction is not superior on it. I'm not saying it is. It's not superior. But it's that middle of the road size. It can do a lot of things very, very well. It can function as an emergency self-defense tool. It can be an EDC blade. It can be a food preparation blade. All the stuff I've talked about before. This is your more versatile pick. I know what you're going to do already. I know you guys. I know you guys. I know you guys. And gals. We had gals that watch the show. So over in TMP Patreon, we've got Nancy, we've got Maggie, and we've got about probably 20 other girls that have been with me in Patreon for quite some time. Love you girls. Thank you so much. So yeah, it's not just a guy show. We got some girls. So this, I think, would be your first choice, but I already know what you guys and girls are going to do. You're going to go out and buy them as a pair. I just know what you're going to do, and you should. Okay, and I hate to beat up your credit card, your wallets. Well, actually, I don't hate it that much because this is what you want. That's what you watch, my reviews. Not the adventures, the reviews. So yeah, I'm doing what you want. Want to beat up your wall a little bit. Yeah, get them both. Perfect. This is the one you're going to be using a lot, though. And tell me in comment after you've used it. Okay, not when you first get it. After you've used it, and see if the review that I'm giving you here will, echo true with you. I think it will. I think it will. So there's philosophy of use. And great, fun discussion. Fun discussion. Easy review to do because the knives are so excellent. Let's look at the specifics. Steel choice is 8CR13 MOV on both blades. And we've got an unsharpened swedge here. Kind of a modified clip point. It looks, it looks like that Edge Shimp knife. What was it called? I forget the name of it. It had the same style look. And we see this over and over again from all different manufacturers. The same blade shapes emerge over and over again. There's only so many you can do. Of course they're going to look like each other. Same with watches. There's only so many looks you can do. Not necessarily copying anything. It's just their own thing. I love the blade shape. I like the fuller in it. It's indented. Lightens the blade up a little bit. Notice that is a flat portion right there, y'all. So, you know what that means, right? That means you can sharpen with your Edge Pro Apex. That's right. And I'm putting a link to that pretty much in every video because I want you guys to start sharpening your freaking knives. Insert standard discussion. Look at the finishing, by the way, on that 8CR. Do you notice any flaws? Not me. I mean, I've brought you know, $200 Spydercos that have that weird machining look to them, and I've criticized it, rightfully so. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Striations, I call them. But this is pretty good. This one has a little bit more of it, but overall, the polishing and the look on the 8CR, pretty excellent. You guys know I like the steel. It's a high value, easy to sharpen, takes a wicked edge. This 8CR, I think the formulation that Cold Steel uses is just fine. I think you guys will be very happy with it. Watch out, it will rust on you. Now, I am single-armed. I'm still in the sling right here. And anyways, I can't do what I normally do, like flip it out 1,000 times. You just got to bear with me. I'll do it a couple times offhand. What I'm talking about is the edge. I was going to do some paper cutting, but it's really hard for me to do right now. The edges are superb, out of box. And is it always that way? No. I've brought a lot of knives to the table where the edge needs immediate work and immediate first aid. Look at the blade here on the big one. Look at how big that blade is. It almost looks like a Kabar, doesn't it? A Kabar knife. It really does. The Luzon, 6-inch Luzon. Cool. So you see your double thumb studs will nest right there in the handle. It's a GRN handle. Glass-filled nylon. And let me show you deployment. Now, this is not a bearing system like ball bearing system. I think it's like phosphor bronze bushings in there. Nor does it have a TriAd lock. This is a captured liner lock. I gotta be careful I do this right. Sorry, weak deployment offhand. Do it one more time. I can do better than that. Oh, and by the way, I do think this thing comes out really nice. Let me do it off camera right now. There we go, that's better. It comes out really nice. I think the balancing on both of the Luzons is fabulous. I mean, I don't think it can be improved to the point where you get these knives, you go, you're looking at the price you paid for them, you're like, am I seeing that right? Yeah, you are. And it's hard to balance a big folding knife like this. Speaking as a reviewer, I've handled a lot of these big knives, and sometimes they just come out rather clunkily. You know what I'm saying? They do. Oh, by the way, notice the double guard on the kind of stiletto design on the Luzon. Doesn't it look kind of stiletto-ish? The cool thing is you can actually wave this from pocket. How cool is that? So you can just hook this part in the corner of your pocket, do a quick rapid deployment, even with a big one. That's one way to get it out. You can flip it like this, standard flip, or you can use the dual thumb studs. Pretty good lefty knife. We're going to lose a little bit on the clip, which is just oriented in one direction. That's not great. And you can deploy it with the thumb studs. There's massive occlusion on this side with the thumb stud. On this side, and I can't do it with my right hand, not so much. It's milled out really nice. Nicely radiused. GRN handle. It is slick. Now, every knife has some quirks. The quirk on this is they're making it look like, you know, it's kind of like some shaved bamboo, which is a cool look. I really like the look. Really slick on the side. You can see what I always do on these slick knives. I just put a little run of skateboard tape on it. That way I can extract it from pocket. And if you're going to wave it from pocket, you got to have that traction. It's very important. Because, you know, just having it slide, that's just what I do. Just go, you know, wherever, get some skateboard tape, cut it up with little, you know, sections like that, and just slap it on. Easy to do. Now, you might get adventurous and use your soldering iron and kind of mess around with it. I've had mixed results doing that. I don't know if it would work with this. You could try it. They're so inexpensive. Why not? Make it a project knife. Report below if it worked for you. Lanyard hole right here, slot variety. I'd put a lanyard on this big one for sure. And notice how much freaking handle space you have on the 6-inch Luzon, dude. Oh my gosh, it's like you have so much. So yes, it's a less than lethal impact tool if you need it to be. Now let's look at the 4-inch Luzon. And by the way, the lockup, the centering on these is fantastic. You got single-sided pivot adjustment, which is kind of a mixed bag sometimes. I'm talking there's only like a micro torque adjustment right here, not on that side. But the lockup on this is fantastic. There's your timing on the captured liner lock on the 4-inch Luzon. Your all-arounder. This has the same dynamic, so we have more of a cutout on this side for that thumb stud. No volcano issues. Those are really good thumb studs. And notice, by the way, the flipper tabs / guards are actually well-rounded, well-chamfered. There's no hot spots. saving me time and hassle as a knife owner where I don't have to get out the freaking Dremel and do their work for them. Thank you. Nice. Oh, there's your centering right here. Let's check the detent on both. Really good on that one. This is a bigger blade, and so detent, I've seen no problems whatever. None. The detent's freaking perfect, even on the 6-inch Luzon. Yeah, left-handed deployment. Handle on this one, I think, is also adequately large. I wear large size gloves, as I often do. Is it the most comfortable handle in the world? Not really, because it's kind of squarish, right? So it's not exactly ergonomic. It's not. That might be a downside to Luzon. And again, we got quirks and everything. Nylon backspacer. It's not a flow-through design on this stiletto-ish Luzon. I'll call it a fighting knife, really. It's kind of like a little fighter. It's like an EDC fighting knife. It is. And that brings us to the clip. Now, when I first started TNP, I raved about the integral clips that Cold Steel was doing, and they just moved away from them. I grabbed an old, not the Recon, but a Voyager. Here it is. And I thought I grabbed one with an integral clip, but I'm sorry, that one's deployed to California in a certain location. But I got the one with the steel clip. This one also has a JB Weld modification. I have a video out on that, posted about 35 years ago. So it was like this, but it had the integral plastic clip in it, and I actually like those as a right-hander. As a left-hander, this style of clip is much better because you buy this knife, even the current version of Voyager, and this is the previous version, I believe. It is. Both of them, they're all good. All the generations of Voyagers are fantastic. I'll put links to this one below. It's still one of my all-time favorite all-around knives, hollow ground. This one's an AUS 8, I believe. But you'll get an ability to swap your clip around. And take it from me, now being a left-hander temporarily, I'm more sympathetic. Because as I'm in my freaking, I can't bring it out here, but in my arm thingy, I'm left-handed. And you know what I've been doing? This is going to crack you guys up. I've been swapping my clips to the left-hand orientation because I'm using my left hand. And I'm sitting here as my reviewing voice is in my head like, oh, there you go. Now you know what it's like to be a lefty, Nuttin. Yes, I kind of always knew. I'm empathetic to you guys, but now I'm really understanding it. That is a downside to the Luzon. So if you're lefty, the orientation is what it is. Another downside is the clip, while I find it carries well, is not overly expansive to accept thick tactical cloth. That might make you sad. Okay, that is a downside. But it's simple, it's unobtrusive, well, relatively so. You have like a large span of plastic extending on your pants pocket, and there is a certain amount of the knife that's going to be protruding from the pocket. Another quirk, but overall, I don't mind it. I like integral clips, and I have found with my Voyagers that these don't break. I mean, I have one that's like 23 years old, and it's still going. Do I wear it every day? No. It's in a rotation with a lot of other blades, but from what I've used it, a lot previous to TNP, fantastic. So those are the quirks. I've covered them honestly, and dang, this Cold Steel Luzon, both of them are highly, highly recommended. Let me show you a couple knives just for competitive options and size comparison, and it might make you laugh. Remember this one, the Cold Steel Frenzy? So this is a good size comparison. So the handle's 6 3/4. You can see 5.5-inch blade. The box is completely efficient because you wouldn't think a knife that big right here would fit in that box. Here it is. The 5.5-inch Frenzy Wharncliffe blade. I still like this knife. I don't know if I love it, but I like it. It's kind of a reverse Wharncliffe. A hawk bill, kind of, sort of. Can you see a reverse curvature going on here? And this has a really good steel. Unnecessarily, if you ask me. You don't need to put CTS XHP on this. Just 8CR would have been fine. A lot more people could afford it. This is a second cool blade. But let's put it up against a 6-inch Luzon. And I was talking about how big this knife is and how well it carries. Look at how big that Luzon is, dudes. Oh my gosh. That is massive. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Oh, here's one. And I actually like this knife a lot. This is from a different company, and it's kind of funny to see them finally enter the large folding, I don't know, fighting knife category. I don't know if you can call this one a fighting knife. Here we go. It is the CRKT Jumbones, dudes. Jumbones right here. Bought with your Patreon dollars so I could review it for you right now. Well, I'll do a separate review on this. I actually like the knife a lot. I do. It's great. This has IKBS. Really sharp handle though. It's a really sharp, angular handle. Great looks. I think pretty much worthless attempt at jimping. It's flat ground, upswept blade. It's a beautiful blade. And kudos to CRKT. By the way, they're one of those companies I was worried about. I was like, is CRKT even going to make it? But from what I'm seeing coming out of CRKT nowadays, the answer is probably yes. Everything's subject to change. They're coming out and have come out with some designs that, for me, are exciting. So, really cool knife, and you can see it's just still dwarfed by the Luzon. And let's put it up against the 4-inch one. Look at that. So the 4-inch is really that sweet spot. The Luzon, it's just a freaking great knife. I think you guys would really love this knife. Not to wear every day. Is it the perfect knife for all situations? No. Like for a food knife, I'd rather have the Jumbones, the flat ground, or it's even smaller one, the crossbones. Didn't know I had that, did you? That's a great food preparation blade right there. I'll say that in the review. It's fantastic. For size comparisons, here's the AK-47 folder. We're in a JB Weld mod. I gotta wrap it up, dude. This is like feature length knife review. This will be one of your favorite TMP knife reviews for a while, I think. How about this one, dudes? You guys remember this one? Oh my gosh, this thing is a trip. The Talwar. Look at that. Here we go. Cold steel and its Marshall blade acumen. Just getting it done. Persian style fighting knife. This one has a TriAd lock. It's super excellent. And what do you know? The Luzon is bigger still. I gotta wrap it up. So again, golf clap for Cold Steel, Lynn Thompson and company. Great job. I'm so excited for these knives. Super excited to bring them to you. This has been Nut and Fancy Review. Didn't have time to tell you what that's about. I'll tell you in future video. And I got something to tell you about this fairy swordfish. We talked about the KV1 already. Over and out. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the support. Join and stay in TMP Patreon or whatever I use in the future. See ya.